Welcome to another in the destination series presented by the International Super Yacht Society. This week is an exciting set of destinations. I've cruised them all. I've got some hometown bias sitting in the middle somewhere, which you can probably pick. But tonight we're going to continue going west. We're going to hear from New Zealand, Australia, Indonesia, Singapore, onward to Thailand. Cruised all these destinations, all incredible. I'm sure our speakers are going to show some amazing opportunities for cruising tonight. So let's get straight into it and let's hear from New Zealand.
Hi everyone, it's Duffy from Catalano Shipping Services in New Zealand. Super yachts. When's a good time to come to New Zealand? November through to April is our best time for weather, warm weather, and for warmer water. Not too warm pretty much all year round, but it's the warmest between December through March. Diving is fantastic, but yes, you'll have to wear a wetsuit. Our surfing crew love it. We've got black sand beaches, Raglan, Piha, Muriwai. The crew are there as much time off as they can. We've got beautiful white sandy beaches all the way across New Zealand, also with surf. And we can make sure you have a good time. What is there to do here? So when you come to New Zealand in those months, there's refit, of course. We've got fantastic facilities. We've got travel lifts across New Zealand, slipways and dry docks. From the far north, when you arrive into Opua, there's a super yacht berths. And then as you come down into Whangarei, there's refit facilities and travel lift. And then once you come even further to Auckland, that's the city centre and our major super yacht hub. And then from Auckland, everyone tends to set up base there because you're in the city centre. There's a lot of major contractors, a lot of large travel lifts, a lot of large slipways, dry docks, and one of our major international airports. From there, you can go down towards Tauranga, and then in Tauranga, we do have a travel lift there now as well, and that's starting to pick up for refits. And then as you go further south, you jump down into the South Island, where Nelson, another super yacht berth, and then a dry dock in Lyttelton. So right the way across New Zealand, we do have space to accept you, quote for refit, and take care of all your needs. Right now, our main super yacht hub is Auckland. We have 3 main marinas all spread right next door to each other, if you call that spread. There's Silo Marina, the new Wynyard Basin Marina, which was built for the America's Cup, and the Viaduct Marina. And they house anything up to 140 metres in length. So we do have a good size, we do have good capability. Now, for tourism, for guest trips, for charter, we do it all. And that's the fantastic thing about New Zealand. We have luxury lodges across New Zealand. We have award-winning golf courses, top 5 in the world, across New Zealand. We have amazing dives across New Zealand. We have art across New Zealand. The big thing that we've found over the years is we do get guests that love the wine and want to taste a lot of our wines. We don't try and convince them to buy the vineyard, and we leave that to them. The great thing that we don't necessarily promote as much as we should or offer is our culture. Our culture, the Māori culture, no one can replicate. That's us. We would like to teach the guests or teach the crew, leave nothing but footprint. So where we come, it's all taking things back to how our cultural or Indigenous people have respected the land, and we ensure that people understand what's being done. So with that, what can I say? We can do everything under the COVID rules right now. Vessels can come to New Zealand. It's a little bit harder for owners to fly via private jet without any MIQ, but we can work around that. We have things in place, and we can discuss face to face and make things work. One thing that Auckland is very good for is the super yacht service side of it. So all your ship spares coming in through, all your contractors that are here, right down to just your day-to-day, knowing every restaurant to go to, every bar and everything like that. So, failing not coming, I do recommend you reach out. We can create itineraries for you, being tourism endorsed. We can assist you on refits and put you in touch with contractors. We can link in marinas. We can link in the bunkers. There is literally everything that you need is here in New Zealand. So from the refits right through glaciers down fjords down in Milford Sound, the beaches are just fantastic, and hope you can make it here.
Okay, that's a pretty amazing start out from Duthie. New Zealand is an incredible destination. Everyone knows this. I think it's well worth making the effort to get down there. But let's move across. Let's hear from David Good in Australia.
Super yachts are destined for adventure, transcending guests to the most remote regions in the world. For those with an appetite for exploration, there is an adventure playground waiting to be discovered. Explore the vibrant colours of the world's largest coral reef system. Navigate rugged canyons immersed in prolific wildlife. Dock in iconic harbour cities, a stone's throw away from the world's greatest events. This is Australia. A pristine yachting haven for all year round cruising, the possibilities for adventure are endless. Uncover a global super yacht hub with world-class infrastructure. From the design and build of award-winning super yachts to renowned refit and maintenance shipyards, Australia's maritime industry is second to none. Luxury marinas, indulgent resorts, and a 6-star super yacht service. Join us in a new super yacht frontier, discovering Australia.
G'day, welcome to Australia. We've got a first world destination in the middle of Asia Pacific. So we're a popular spot for vessels that are either in the South Pacific or in Southeast Asia, and they are looking for somewhere where they can get first class refit work done. We've got a number of really top level world class shipyards, and our tradesmen are among the best in the world. So we're a great spot to come and get your work done whilst you're in this part of the world. The summer months, it's very popular to be down south. So from Sydney down south to Tasmania is a great place to head. There's plenty of places in Tasmania you can't get to any other way. It's a wilderness area, so being on board a vessel is a great way to see it. There's some world-class events that happen in Melbourne. The Australian Open happens around January, February. The Formula One normally happens in March, and the horse racing in Melbourne is probably the best in the world. So Melbourne and Tasmania are great places to go to between the months of say November through till April. Sydney I think everybody has grown up watching Sydney New Year's Eve on the harbour. It's a bucket list thing to do. There's a lot of vessels that come here for New Year's Eve, but there's plenty to do in and around Sydney Harbour outside of New Year's Eve. And there's some great waterways to the north and to the south. So, a very short trip up to Pittwater, which is about 5 times the size of Sydney Harbour. And then you've got Port Stephens a little bit further north, and you've got Jervis Bay to the south. All fantastic locations that are best seen on board a vessel. And then as we head north, a lot of the vessels about this time of year, April, May, they start to head north. The southerlies will help you take you there. The southeast trade winds are around this time. And you head up to Moreton Bay, Fraser Island, which is the largest sand island in the world. Moreton Island, where you can hand feed dolphins. And further north, you start to get into the Great Barrier Reef, which I think everybody knows. There is no other way to see it. You need to get amongst it and get in the water and experience it for yourself. You can find Nemo there. The Whitsundays Islands in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef is probably the best cruising in Australia. You've got Whitehaven Beach, which has been voted a number of times the most beautiful beach in the world. You head further north, places like Cairns, which has got shipyards, world-class marina, great flights in and out, and then to the north between Australia and Papua New Guinea, you've got the Torres Strait Islands, which is culturally completely different to the rest of Australia. More of a South Sea Island, Polynesian flavour through there. Most people have never been to it. Most Australians have never been to the Torres Strait, but on a vessel, you can go there and not put pressure on the local population, their food and water sources. And across the top, you've got Darwin, which is the gateway to the Kakadu National Park. You've got the Kimberleys in the far north of Western Australia. And then you head down the West Australian coast, and there's Ningaloo Reef, which you can snorkel with whale sharks, and down to Perth, which has got shipyards, which we actually manufacture super yachts there. So they're manufacturing up to 85-metre yachts, at Silver Yachts and Echo Yachts. And both those shipyards are capable of doing major refits. And south of there, you've got some great wine regions. Margaret River recently just hosted the Margaret River Pro for the surfers out there. Great surfing, great wine, pretty good place to spend some time. And the vessels love to get down south and around places like Albany, King George Sound. They're great deep water locations that are protected. So that's pretty much a lap around Australia. It's a great place. We've now got charter rules in place so that foreign flag vessels can come here and charter. And we're ready to take as many vessels as want to come. Thank you.
So, I mean, really, everyone should just go to Australia. There's some good things come out of Australia, I've been told. But if you're going to go that far, you're going to go north with an archipelago which has 17 to 18,000 islands. I'm sure there's one there for you. Let's come up to Indonesia.
Welcome, viewers. This is Jimmy Blee speaking to the International Super Yacht Society in relation to destination information in regards cruising Indonesia. Indonesia is, make no mistake, the adventure cruising destination of the world. It has every facet of interesting, cultural, and amazing sights to see. 17,000 islands in Indonesia, and each one of them have their own little jewel of discovery and adventure. We have two main cruising weather patterns in Indonesia over the course of a year, but it allows Indonesia to be a 12-month-a-year destination. During May through October, we have the Southeast Trades, clear blue skies, which is effectively the Northern Hemisphere winter, which is a bit of an oxymoron because it's our best weather, because it's clear skies, no rain, and predominantly the cruising area is what we call the 8th parallel, which is the string of islands along 8 degrees south, which runs from Sumatra right through past Java, Bali, Lombok, Komodo, and into the further eastern islands, which all, the further east you go, the more remote it is and the more fabulous the cruising. The summer months is what we call the rainy season or the off season. We can cruise on the equator. Now that means that there is no strong wind, but there is squalls and can be rainified. But this season is typified to cruise the world famous Raja Ampat. Now, you would have all heard about Raja Ampat. It's a cluster of over 50 islands nestled on the equator. The diving is spectacular. The cultural experiences are spectacular. All in all, it's a must-see for any super yacht owner that loves his or her diving, that wants to see adventure and to go to remote places. Outside of the remoteness, outside of the adventure, of course, Indonesia has some cultural areas. It has the wonderful resort island of Bali. Bali, being Hindu, is a world-renowned holiday destination. The yacht can turn up there. There's shopping to be done. There's world-class restaurants. There's world-class 4-star hotels. Indonesia is a vast country. You can't just come and say, oh, we're going to do a couple of days here. Indonesia requires a good cruising plan and a well thought out overall logistic structure. You can't just go and get provisions at every island. You can't just go and get quality fuel at every island. Cruising Indonesia is an operation. It is one that requires good planning and good structure. Post-COVID, Indonesia is going to thrive, given the fact that all of the islands that we normally cruise with our clients are remote areas. Indonesia, as probably everybody understands, is a country of 300 million people. The post-COVID Indonesia is going to be good for cruising, given the remoteness of the islands and the containment that remoteness gives. Our cruising plans for our clients will always center around remoteness and around the incredible places that can be seen in Indonesia. We look forward to you visiting Indonesia sometime in the future, and please don't hesitate to contact me directly for intimate and wonderful cruising plans for the country. Thank you.
For wider market tourism, Thailand needs no introduction. But having gone there on a super yacht, I can say it offers a lot for our yachting community as well. Let's have a sit back and listen to what Thailand's going to offer us.
Hi everyone, I'm Bill O'Leary, asked by the International Super Yacht Society to have a 5-minute discussion on the fantastic cruising grounds of Thailand. So just to let you know, I'm the writer of the co-author of this book, The Southeast Asia Pilot. That's back to front on there, but it's basically all of the anchorages from North Australia all the way to the Maldives. You know, we've got 11 countries in there: Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Cairns and Darwin in Australia, Vanuatu, the Solomons, Palau, China, Hong Kong, Philippines, Singapore, Cambodia and Vietnam. But because I live in Thailand with my co-authors and publisher, Thailand is the main focus of the sailing guide. It's online and we have a digital version. This is the 6th edition. We've been doing it since about 1990. We had it Sail Thailand was the first one, the Andaman Sea Pilot, and then now the Southeast Asia Pilot. So you can go online, southeastasiapilot.com, and you can download the digital version. But of course the first 100 pages are to do with Thailand, because of course we know Thailand much better than the other destinations. But yeah, for me, out of all of the places I've cruised in the world, which is quite a few, Thailand for me has the right blend of cruising destinations, the activities, the huge amount of anchorages, you know, over 1,000 kilometres of coastline and a couple of thousand islands, the food, the people, the service culture of the locals, the accessibility via Singapore. It's 600 miles north of Singapore on the Andaman Sea coast, and about 800 up to Koh Samui on the South China Sea coast. It enjoys both sides and has reciprocal high seasons. The more I think the best season is the Andaman Sea season between November and April, where the northeast monsoon kicks in and clears up the water along the west coast of Phuket especially, which is world renowned now. I arrived there as crew on a cruiser racer Stormvogel after the movie Dead Calm in 1987, and never left really. So it's such a beautiful place, you know, really stunning, the destinations in and around Phuket. And as I say, you can get in via Singapore, direct flights from Singapore, Hong Kong. This was all pre-COVID, of course. But I'm sure in a few years that'll all open up again. You get direct international flights into Phuket for the Andaman Sea side. And then on the other side, you can enjoy the South China Sea, Koh Samui, the Pattaya area there, all the islands around Pattaya, and all the way down to the Cambodian border. But anyway, so I did fill out this form on the destination questions, so to keep me on track a bit. Yeah, so the best, you can have a boat in Thailand, a super yacht, going on November to April on the west coast at Phuket, and then December through to April on the east side, the South China Sea around Koh Samui, because the winds are different from there. It's 8 degrees north of the equator, so you're the intertropical convergence zone, so there's no monsoons. There's some fierce storms, but they really don't get much wind over 30-35 knots, so it's a very safe area. In Phuket especially, it's kind of the epicenter of super yachting for the region, and there's plenty of berths at the Yacht Haven and at Alpo Marina. There's 4 marinas in total: Boat Lagoon, Royal Phuket Marina, Yacht Haven Marina, and Alpo Marina, of which Alpo and Yacht Haven are the ones with super yacht marina berths with all of the amenities there. They're on the north-east coast, both of those. So that's the best time. The sailing conditions fantastic, especially for when that northeast kicks in on the west coast of Phuket. We have the King's Cup Regatta and several world-class regattas all around that area. Probably the most notable is the King's Cup Regatta in December for the past King. Of course, the most unforgettable places are Phi Phi Island, Punga Bay. Lots of movies have been shot in these places. Leonardo DiCaprio on the beach was at Phi Phi Island in Phi Phi Lay. You've got the Krabi area. Lots of movies. Cutthroat Island, Swiss Family Robinson, The Phantom. All these were shot there. And then you've got the Similan Islands, which is sort of 60 miles off northeast from Phuket, group of islands that run north-south and tremendous diving just north of there before the Burmese border. The Merguai Archipelago is a group of islands there called the Surin Islands that have Richlau Rock, which is world famous for the whale sharks, and the Kobon just south of there for the manta rays. You just need valid papers for your yacht and crew. You can get a 6-month visa for your yacht, and then each crew, depending on where they're from, their visa requirements, they're easily renewable. The languages are Thai and English, of course. The currency is the baht. There's about 33 baht to the dollar at the moment. Of course, the specialty food and beverages is Thai food. Everywhere you go, there's Thai food on the beach. It's very cheap and fantastic. Best places, best beaches, of course, are on, in my opinion anyway, the water visibility is much better north of Langkawi, all the way up to the 11th degree latitude. There's a kind of an anomaly there. The visibility is really spectacular. You don't get that kind of visibility in the South China Sea, or even north in the Merguai Archipelago and south around Langkawi. So the best visibility is that area. So I've overrun my time. But I just say, come to Thailand, look me up, grab a copy of the Southeast Asia Pilot and get it online, and we look forward to seeing you in Thailand. Sawadee Cup.
Now we're going to hear from one of my favourite destinations. I think I say that about a lot, but this one's a definite standout. And it goes back well over 25 years for me. I've watched Singapore grow in so many different ways. It is a global hub, a futurist city. There possibly are more efficient places on the planet, but I don't see them very often. Wonderful place for a yacht to go, for logistics, for dining, for all sorts of reasons. But let's hear from Singapore to tell their story best.
Well, Singapore is about 1,300 nautical miles from Bali and takes about 5 days to reach. During the northeast monsoon, which is around October to February, you will experience some headwind as you travel along Java Sea up to South China Sea to enter Singapore Straits. For many yachts, it will be the first time after many months of cruising that chief engineers get to turn off their generators and enjoy some peace and quiet on shore power. There are 4 marinas available in Singapore for visiting super yachts for long-term berthing of 1 to 2 weeks or even up to a month. Motor Yacht A was the largest yacht ever been to Singapore, and she has been a regular visitor whenever she transits between Indian Ocean and the Pacific and vice versa. For short-term visitors, meaning 2 to 3 days or shorter, there are many options besides marina. You could go to cruise terminal, work jetties, or even pick up ship stores at anchorages. As a hub port, Singapore is connected to 600 destinations in over 120 countries. There are no import duties or taxes, except for alcohol, tobacco, motor vehicles, and petroleum products. Clearance of shipments by sea or air is fast and takes an average of 48 hours from airport to dock. More than 5,000 maritime companies have set up shops in Singapore, so you could find pretty much everything you need here. If not, Singapore is open to foreign expertise coming in to support their projects in town. Applications for work pass exemption takes a matter of hours. Entry procedure for yachts is very straightforward. Yachts do not have to submit custom declaration when they arrive. There will be physical boarding by security and immigration officers. Inspections usually takes less than an hour to complete. Singapore is a busy port. There are 130,000 vessel calls per year. At any one time, there are about 1,000 vessels in port. Every 2 to 3 minutes, one vessel arrives or departs. To manage this traffic, the Port Authority has implemented strict rules to ensure that all stakeholders and users could benefit from the geographic advantage that Singapore has to offer. Vessels more than 300 GT are required to engage harbour pilots in most parts of port waters. Launching and towing of tenders and toys are strictly prohibited. Swimming in anchorages is considered man overboard, which will trigger rescue agency, big bills, and big fines. However, Singapore is not all industrialized and short of fun. Shopping is a national hobby, and there are award-winning restaurants and bars for the crew to enjoy. Singapore is also one of the global financial centers, so owners will bring their yachts here when they are in town for business. Otherwise, it's usually an opportunity for crew to relax after a long period at sea and working on charters. Once the yacht has secured in a marina or shipyards, crew could enjoy some downtime shopping in the city, enjoy the nightlife, or fly to neighboring countries and cities. There are many attractions within 3-hour flight from Singapore. Changi Airport is linked to 300 cities in 70 countries with more than 6,500 flights a week. So it's a very good place to carry out crew change. There are no restrictions on how long a yacht could remain in Singapore, but usually crews staying more than 40 days will have to do visa run or convince immigration why they haven't left. Singapore is expensive, and a port city does provide quick turnaround and efficient services to support super yachts cruising in the region. So they don't understand why you need to stay so long. Only if you are in shipyards, you could stay a maximum of 180 days. Maintenance, bunkering, provisioning, logistics, crew R&R, shipyard repairs, and even helicopter MRO are what we do best. Thank you.